While developing the character of Tony Stark for the film Iron Man, lead actor Robert Downey Jr.
I think we need to take inspiration from a real-life Iron Man.
Iron Man, a fictional superhero first developed in 1963, is supposed to be a billionaire businessman, a genius, a thinker, and an eccentric philanthropist, all rolled into one, almost a mirror image of the real Elon Musk, who at 49 is amongst the world's richest men with a net worth of more than $30 billion. However, his popularity is not so much because of his wealth, as much as it is for his vision. He aspires to colonize Mars by as early as 2024. Gifted with an amazing sense of design and grasp of technology, he plans to rid Earth of its traffic jams, becoming the environment's savior by eliminating polluting car exhaust, acting as if he alone can solve all the world's problems. Born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon was an introvert who loved books and computers right from an early age. He loved reading so much that he reportedly read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica at age 9. He read everything: books, comics, science fiction, and non-fiction novels, like The Lord of the Rings, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, sometimes for 10 hours a day, straight. Compared with his siblings, Elon was quiet.
Elon, have your brother's birthday cake?
So quiet was he that it alarmed his parents, May and Errol.
Is there something wrong with his hearing?
On getting checked by a doctor.
Nope, his hearing is perfect.
Another thing he loved doing was spending time tinkering with explosive substances. But it was Isaac Asimov's Foundation series that influenced his worldview at an early age that made him want to become the savior of civilization.
Do things that are likely to prolong civilization and minimize the probability or reduce the length of a dark age.
His own dark age came soon enough, at 9 when his parents divorced, while his mother and siblings, Kimball and Tosca, left for Canada. Elon stayed behind with his father in Pretoria.
How can I live there all alone?
But this decision proved very costly for him. His father was reportedly tough on the children to the point of abuse, often lecturing Musk and his brother for hours. Father and son would never bond. Later in life, he severed relations with the parent.
He is a terrible human being.
Growing up was a nightmare for Elon, who was mostly taken care of by the housemaid. The quiet Musk became even quieter as he became a target in school as well.
You bookworm, running to your daddy?
Where he was picked on, bullied, and beaten. Once the bullies forced his best friend to lure Elon out of his hiding place, then threw him down a flight of stairs and kept on hitting him until he blacked out. Almost beaten to death, even his father couldn't recognize his face.
Elon needs to have an operation to correct his broken nose.
For some reason, they decided that I was it, and they went after me.
For a number of years, there was no respite.
Then I'd come home, and it would just be awful from there as well.
The bullying continued until he was 15 years old, when he suddenly went through a growth spurt and learned how to defend himself by doing karate, judo, and wrestling. By 16, he was
dishing it out as hard as they'd give it to me.
But while human relationships were failing him, Elon was getting along well with a different kind of companion, artificial intelligence. At 10, he taught himself computer programming on a Commodore VIC-20. By 12, he was coding in BASIC, the computer language of the 1980s, and developed a video game, Blastar, a web version of which is still available online. He sold Blastar's code for about $500 to PC and Office Technology magazine, and at 16 attempted to start a gaming arcade. But South African authorities—
How old are you, boy?
16.
I'm sorry, kiddo. Minors cannot buy property in South Africa.
But as soon as one turned a major at 18, they had to compulsorily enlist in the South African Army, whose main function at the time was enforcing apartheid. Under this racist system which disgusted Musk, blacks were not allowed to mix with white people. Trains, housing, beaches, toilets, everything was segregated. But he avoided the draft using his mother's Canadian nationality, which gave him a way out, and at 17, Musk moved there with just $2,000 in his pocket. It was there, in Kingston's Queen's University, Ontario, where he met Justine Wilson, an aspiring writer. They would marry and have 5 sons together, twins and triplets, before divorcing in 2008. As a student at University of Penn, Elon bought a 10-bedroom fraternity house, which was used as an ad hoc nightclub that paid for his college and lifestyle. While Musk graduated as a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from Wharton, it was his physics major which would make the deepest impression on his thinking.
Physics is a good framework for thinking.
He next moved to Stanford University, California, supposedly to pursue a PhD in applied physics, but more likely to just legally extend his stay in the US as a student, because he deferred his admission and left the PhD program after just 2 days.
I'm leaving to create a new company with my brother, Kimball.
The move served as a good fallback plan in case the new company failed. With the launch of Netscape Navigator, the first web browser, the internet was exploding and Silicon Valley booming with possibilities. It was at this time that the 24-year-old, with funds from angel investors, launched a software company in 1995 called Zip2, developing online city guides for newspaper publishers like the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune, something like an early version of a cross between Yelp and Google Maps. In 1999, as the tech bubble was approaching its zenith, Compaq bought Zip2 for $341 million. In the sale, Musk got $22 million. Using half of it, he co-founded XCOM, an online banking company, the same year. A year later, XCOM purchased Confinity, another online financial services firm that came with its then unknown money transfer service, PayPal. Within months, over 1 million people began flocking to its online payment mechanism. XCOM was renamed as PayPal in 2001. But the board ousted Musk from the CEO's chair over technical arguments concerning the future architecture of the service. But he still netted a cool $165 million for his 11.7% stake when eBay in 2002 bought PayPal for a then enormous, by internet company standards, of $1.5 billion. By then, Elon was already dreaming of translating the space fiction of his childhood into reality. The ability of Musk to see opportunity and seize it with both hands would define his future, just as it had helped transform a 17-year-old immigrant from South Africa into a self-made Silicon Valley millionaire at 24.
Subscribe to BSBO News Reimagined.